this entire week from the 15th of April all the way to the 21st of April is World Creativity and Innovation Week, with the 21st being the final day, which was recognized as an official UN celebration some years ago. And all around the world, there are a lot of people who celebrate the power of thinking differently, trying new things, whether it's at work, whether it's with students, whether it's just even in your day to day life. And Ignite has been a series that I have been running from 2022 with a lot of wonderful speakers, with a lot of expertise across fields like music, education, science, storytelling. And today's very first speaker is none other than the amazing Gayathri Thakoor. So I'm sure some of you already know Gayatri very well, but in any case, it's always good to have a refresher. So let me tell you a little bit about Gayatri. So Gayathri Thakoor is the co-founder and the CEO of the Learn Through Stories Foundation, which we know as LETS. She is a published author, manager, tutor, and an entrepreneur with a career graph of over 30 years, with her role as a news journalist with the Times of India forming the base of it all. She then co-founded a business enterprise to develop and publish literature for children, followed by a leading role at the Tata Center for Technology and Design at IIT Bombay, which supported the Let's research project all along. Gayatri soon co-founded the Let's Foundation, along with two IIT Bombay faculty members, taking the Let's educational approach out of the research confines and into the big wide world. And most importantly, and very excitingly, recognized for the work that she represents at the Let's Initiative, she recently won the Empower Her Award in the category of Women in Education Transformation in Chennai, India. In case you don't know it, she's also extremely well educated. So she has a postgraduate degree in education as well as business administration, a graduate degree in economics. She's currently pursuing an advanced course in Japanese, and she has a very sweet and interesting blog called Affectionately G that she uses to keep in touch with readers using the format of letters and diary entries. And Gayatri is also a certified library educator, helping libraries in Mumbai bring the joy back in reading. So, welcome, Gayatri. I know that you're excited
Thank
to
you.
be here, and
Very, very. My pleasure.
we'll keep a little time at the end for some Q and A's in case you have any questions for Gayatri. But before any of that happens, I have my own questions for Gayatri. Uh, and we hope that it will ignite a spark in all of you to think about your own journeys, no matter how big or small they may be. Right? So, Gayatri, you were a journalist for a very long period of time. And the interesting thing is that you started by finding stories, and now you're helping people create their own stories. So, how do you think finding stories informed how you have started leading others towards creating their own stories?
Uh, it's lovely to be here, Apiksha. Thank you. And you're taking me back to 1994 when I started as a journalist, right? Um, that was a time when I got into journalism because I wanted to be a journalist in class nine. And I said, okay. And that's what I got done, right? Um, at that point of time, there was no definition of what a journalist is. I mean, in my head, right? I went about uh, speaking to people. So when I figured that when we speak to, I started with the Economic Times. So we were meeting corporates. I was meeting people who are very high up in the corporate ladder. They could be industrialists. They could be part of a huge conglomerate and stuff like that. And at that point, there was so much to tell that they just wouldn't be able to pinpoint or focus on that one small thing that was the story. Over the years of writing, what actually came out of these articles or features that I wrote was the depth of the interviews that made sense to people who got interviewed. As in, however, however successful a person may be in the corporate world, I can say that about the Economic Times where I work, or however qualified a politician may be or an educator may be, they loved talking. They loved speaking of the kind of work they did. They loved adding to the stories, except that they didn't know what a story was. I mean, they knew, but they couldn't figure it because there was so much that they could share that they couldn't pinpoint or they couldn't focus on what they wanted to actually say. And that is what led me to better and better writing and therefore then leading the way to their stories. I say this because I can speak of one particular industrialist I went and I met, and we were talking of his huge company. I will not name which company this is. It's a very, very successful group um, of household products, right? Consumer products. And we went about talking of how he painted a chair in his house. And that became the story. Nobody knew him as an artist. Today, that's 32 years later, people know of this industrialist as an artist. People always thought that he is the managing director of or chairman of a company, but nobody thought of anything beyond that. And that's what I mean when I say stories coming out of people where they really didn't realize that that is what they wanted people to know. So coming to I moved on to crime. I moved on to covering education, crime for a very, very, for quite a few years when I was working with the Times of India. And people thought that it was an impossible beat to cover. But here, who are the people who would give you stories in crime, who would give me stories? You'll have to believe this, the people sitting inside police stations. And the minute you gave them a chance to speak, the minute you asked them questions and said, I'm here to listen to you, they liked the fact that they were being heard. And that's where the stories started coming out. Now, I'm coming straight to what I do at Let's right now. I don't go about doing workshops with the Learn Through Stories Foundation. Our team does beautifully. But there are stories that are waiting to be heard from every person that we work with. It's right from my journalism days. I'm not even talking of the entrepreneurship in between, but I'm coming to what we're doing today, where we're making every child, every educator create their own stories. There's so much that they want to share. If somebody would just sit and listen to them, there your story comes in. And if somebody would just lead the way and tell them, here's your focus, just like I did to this journalist, to this industrialist, saying, okay, forget the group, forget that you're chairman of a huge conglomerate. You're an artist who paints chairs, who makes beautiful artwork of a chair and has actually sold it in an art exhibition. Who knows of this? That is a story, right? I'm talking of 96.
That's beautiful and amazing, Gayatri. The way you sort of uncover stories and people are then known by totally different identities, right? Otherwise, we're just
Exactly.
viewed with one perspective. And Let's is doing amazing work. I've worked with Let's. I've had the good fortune of working with Let's, and you all are doing some beautiful work with students and teachers in much more of the far-flung rural areas where perhaps schools don't always have so much access to these sort of programs that require creative thinking. So, which
Absolutely.
leads me to my next question, which we know you're a social entrepreneur. So, can you tell us about some of the creative ways in which you've had to handle challenges or obstacles during your entrepreneurship?
So obstacles and challenges, oh, there are plenty. I will not say have been. There are plenty. I can name so many of them. I was an entrepreneur earlier. With a friend of mine, we co-founded a business enterprise. We did well. We thought we did because we developed characters for children. We made books of our own. We had our own app stories, which were selling on the Apple iTunes store. We translated them into Japanese. They were downloads. We were way ahead of time. And we learned how we failed. We failed and we learned. Okay. In spite of that, I mean, there must be something mad in me to go back to entrepreneurship. But this time to do this in this social space. It was my good fortune, yes, to be at IIT Bombay, to spend a good 6 years at IIT Bombay, to see the Learn Through Stories research project, grow from being a research proposal to a full-fledged, solution, which was validated. That I took this ahead with Alka and Aarti, my partners, and co-founded a social enterprise. It is like a mad thought, but we did it. Now, there are obstacles and there are challenges. India, we speak of a lot of people. Typically, we are called the NGOs. I don't usually call myself the co-founder or the CEO of an NGO. I call it a not-for-profit initiative. Typically, that is how we define it, very, very specifically, but people may not understand that. Challenges, plenty. No resources, or let's say a low scale. I mean, we really do have minimal resources, very little funds, not enough people to work with. People don't answer your calls. People don't listen to your emails. So what do you do? So creativity. You asked of how can we be creative about this? So typically, um, our emails, and let me say my emails, because I'm the one who writes those emails. People in my team always tease me. I mean, you write so many emails. Well, these are the emails that get answered, and therefore then we get resources and funds and partnerships and work to do, right? So yes, my emails always have these. I always think of how smart I can get with the keywords, how short those emails can be, how smart the subject can be, that people will just look at that one word and say, hey, I want to open this email. Okay. So yes, so that's one creative element that I keep working at, because we're looking at possibly 200, 300 emails that are being sent, of which 10 or 20 are responded to, right? There was a time when I say, oh my God, people are not even responding. I'm saying, array, 10, 20, aa gaya. 10 or 20 people actually responded. Wow. Whatever I'm doing it right, right? The other thing that I think I'm pretty, I don't know, I think I like the way I go about this is having backup plans. That is creativity. There was a time about 4 years ago when we were to move to a certain space, because we wanted to have a setup where our team could be comfortable, etc., etc. We bought furniture, we painted the place, we did everything possible. And exactly the day we had to move, that's when somebody pulled out and said, sorry, you can't come in. Right? Thankfully, there are beautiful friends in this world who welcome you and who just take you in and say, I'm here for you. Right? Now, that for me was a backup that has lasted us all this time. Right? It was creative because that it was an idea. Okay. We say creative because it was an idea that worked, and worked like how all the furniture that we bought fit in perfectly. Things fit in perfectly overnight, right? Now that is an obstacle, a challenge which we had worked for 3, 4 months of moving into a certain space, and suddenly not happening. And you're moving into a completely different, unthought of direction. And it has worked even better. That's one creative jump that we had, an idea that worked absolutely differently in terms of a challenge. Another workshop that we went to, we were supposed to work in Karnataka, and we really wanted to make books from that particular village school. And we said, we don't know what to do about these. We don't know what to do about these funds and how to go about it. And the stakeholder said, I want books out of this workshop. Please, please, can we do it, etc., etc. And then, of course, the Mag Lagao, speak to a certain set of people. And voila, you have on day one of the workshop, a new donor comes in and says, I heard you're doing something in Karnataka, in this particular village, near Gadag. Can I sponsor 100 books to be published for this particular setup? That comes out of nowhere, but it also means creative dialogue, creative communication. It's all about that. I
That's
mean,
amazing.
just when you think that you're just folding up, you're saying, oh God, what are we going to do? And there. So, yeah, the head has to work.
I feel like
Really.
all of us need to now take tips from you on crafting the perfect messages. So I think you're tapping into journalism, but I feel like there's like some advertorial guru inside you also. That you're like, I will look for the keywords and you're going to open the email. But I think that's
Believe me,
amazing.
that's what it is.
But I think it's amazing how you're always able to sort of jump from plan A to plan B. It obviously helps to backtrack and plan and do
Yeah,
things, right? Because even me as a facilitator, as a workshop leader, I'm often thinking about backup options when I'm working with a particular cohort or I'm working with participants, whether they're children, whether they're adults, because you never know what can happen and you never know
yeah,
what may not
absolutely.
fly. So you just have to
Totally.
figure it out. But I
Yeah.
love the story about a donor coming in. He's just like, hey, I want to help out. This looks amazing. What can
You
I
know,
do?
you know, yeah, there was a workshop 2 years ago in Nainital, and we were not sure if we should do it. And I told Alka, my partner, please
Yeah,
go and do the workshop. I'll figure. And I figured.
I love it. You have. You definitely have. Okay, so the
Thank
other
you.
thing
Yes.
that I wanted to ask you was that, and this is a I'm keeping this question extremely open for you to connect to all aspects of your life as a journalist, as an entrepreneur, as a woman, as a parent, anything at all, as a learner. Can you share insights from your own experiences that have helped guide you or even surprise you?
Sure. Almost several. People who know me will know, oh my God, what is she going to talk about now? So people who know me, here it is. Okay. I told you when I was young, when I was a school student, I wanted to be a journalist. That was in class nine. And when I was in fourth, before that, I wanted to be a teacher. That guided me through, right? We're talking of a time when we mentored our own selves. We didn't have people who would say, beta, you can do this, beta, you can do that. So we learned ourselves. So, yes, that for me was the star that led the way that I've got to do this. uh, I did an MBA in finance, right? But I still wanted to be a journalist. I didn't get recruited on campus. I was possibly
Hmm.
one of the only students in the school who did not get recruited on campus.
Wow.
And
Okay.
the job that was waiting for me was at the Times of India and the Economic Times. So journalism it was. That
Wow.
was my first ever. So what I'm trying to say is, if it's there in your head and you want to do it, it will happen. There are things which will happen all along, and you will find that route, right? Many things have happened through, which have guided me. I've had a beautiful set of friends, some lovely, yeah, my family. I can always, thank them for tolerating the madness in me because I am possibly the maddest in the family. Um, so all those things also help you, uh, keep doing what you're doing. Um, my kind of experiences in work were different. Yes. So there was a time when I put my CV on LinkedIn and LinkedIn was confused. It came back to me after 4 months and it said, we don't understand you. We don't know where to place you, right? So that was how confusing my set of experiences was, because a journalist, an entrepreneur, go back to IIT Bombay, then do, to maybe part of the management cadre and stuff like that. So basically, that's where my head worked. I said, let me just follow what I enjoy doing and talking about. And that's what got me to Let's, right? Because I enjoyed it. I was happy about doing the stuff that I do even today, on bad days, on those obstacle wala and challenging wala days that you call it. um, at the end of the day, I ask myself, what am I doing? Am I even doing this because I like to do it? And then something happens, some impact story comes in from, say, Dehradun, where we're actually working now, and that's when I say, I love what I do, and I'm going to continue doing this. Surprises. Okay, so when I do work, and when I'm working like this, I am somebody, you already know this. I'm always talking, right? I love talking. I love sending messages to people. I am in touch, and I'm typically like, leave family aside. But other than family, most people know that I'm a communicator, as in I'm the one who tries and moves things ahead. Uh, there was this uh, there was this team I'd met at IIT Bombay when I was at Tata Center. And I was in the other room, and somebody called me in the lab and said that there is a set of guests that is coming, and we don't know what to tell them. So I walked in there to the lab. I spoke to them. They were from Korea, and I spoke to them. It was a 5 minute conversation. That's it. I was kind. I was sweet. I showed them the way. I made sure they were comfortable, and they were gone. Right. This was in 2017. In 2 months, or not even 2 months, a month later, I get an invitation to be in South Korea, Seoul, as a speaker to conduct a workshop in a huge event there, and to do there were three different events that I was supposed to, basically a keynote speaker, or somebody who would conduct a workshop, and maybe a panel discussion or something. But that is what happened over a 5 minute sweet conversation with guests who had come to us. So that it's a surprise for me. I mean, you don't know that a conversation can lead to this. You're being kind to people, you're listening to people, and you're saying, hey, I'm here for you because you've decided to visit us. Let me tell you what we are about without any expectations, right? Um, Another thing is putting my foot down for surprises. We've had some very ugly surprises as we run our not for profit. Very ugly surprises. And this is from the compliance world. And there have been times when people have literally cornered us and said, "Yay, if you don't do this, then this is what is going to happen." Stay put, however ugly that surprise may be. Stay put, hold on to your values, and don't give in, is what I'm trying to say. That's something I have done, and we have fabulously succeeded. Don't give in ever to something that you do not agree with,
My gosh,
because
I
you do
feel
not
like
have to be part of that crowd,
Gayatri, I feel like I
right?
am I am at some, like you are my, I mean, you are my speaker, but
What?
I feel like, like those, all the, you can't say the names now, like, but Dash X, you know what I'm talking about, the famous tea
You
toss.
got it. You got
It
it.
feels, it
I
feels,
mean, when
it
I say
feels exactly
compliance,
like
everybody
that.
knows that, right? Yeah.
But
Like I
amazing.
said, yeah, also the latest Empower Awards. We filled in forms and we sent it just like we send to any grant making body. We have done how many of them? The team has done so many of them. And this time we said, this time is one of those many times when we said, "Bhej dete hain." We
Hmm.
don't know what is waiting. And the award just happened. I mean, so much that I didn't even believe it because I thought it was a scam. So, so that's how it is. So that's how surprises can be. But one particular surprise is something that totally shocked and rocked everybody's world in my life. Right when I was detected with cancer in 23.
Mhm.
That came out of nowhere. We were in a workshop and suddenly somebody said, "Hello, you have other issues." How did life turn after that? I mean, did life turn after that? Absolutely no. Yes,
Mhm.
it was turmoil. It was really tough. But just last week, I had been to, like, thankfully, I'm cancer free. Thankfully, I am fighting hard and I am what I am. But just last week, I had been to a school, a design school in the outskirts of Mumbai. And there was this young 18-year-old who was presenting, right? And she was talking about some framework or some apps, some framework that they were building, some system that they were building. And she was talking of, she said four things, and the fifth thing said, and she said that. So I told her, say it aloud. You do not have to say cancer as you do not have to say it. Say it aloud and nice. So if we can build that among people, and this was a woman, this was a young woman, right? So if we can say that nice and loud and clear, I'm sure all of it is possible. I'm sure it's all going to be easy, right? So let people stop fearing things and don't give in, is what I'm trying to say.
You are just extremely inspiring, Gayatri, with
I
all not
know, a
just
little
not
mad.
just inspiring with everything, inspiring with madness, inspiring with how you've been able to sort of stand tall even in the face of adversity. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It has been amazing knowing you, and I can't believe I'm actually sitting here and talking with you like this after having worked with you a few times. And I'm like, oh, we've come a long way.
Yeah,
Um,
I know. I didn't know this about her, and I didn't know that about her.
Yeah, yeah, but there's something that I found out about Gayatri very recently that she kept a secret from me. I don't know how many of you know this, but Gayatri is also a navigator for women's car rallies. And I had a request from a friend who said the whole talk should be about her being a navigator in car
Yes,
rallies.
absolutely. I love
And
it. I love the idea. Let's do it.
and I said, oh,
I
but
can
there are
get,
we totally can, but I
no,
said, that would be a disservice if I only focused on one aspect of her because as I was putting down questions, I was like, my gosh, there are too many things she's done in life, and all the questions are not going to cover it, and people will also eventually be like, okay, I need to go and have dinner now. So let me
I
let
know
me
all the IPL match will start.
let me ask you this. As a navigator, what has been your approach, right? Because I think every car rally is different, every race is different, and every navigator's approach is very unique. And I think the relationship that they share with the driver itself is also very, very special. So, can you tell us a little bit about what your approach is like and how
No,
you've been fine
I'd
tuning it over the
love
years?
to.
Please go ahead.
I'd love to. This is one of our most favorite things to do. When I say our, I'm
Yay!
talking of Kirti and Mamta, right? So Kirti and Mamta and I, we are one team, and we have been rocking this rally business for more than 10 years. I think we marked 13 this time, if I remember right. Yes. So we've been rallying, we've been participating in women's car rallies from Mumbai to Pune, Mumbai to Kolhapur, Mumbai to Nasik, Mumbai to Ganpatipure, Ganpatipure to Goa, Mumbai to Goa, and this time Mumbai to Lavasa. Sorry, how could I forget that? So many times, and then this time Mumbai to Karzat via Khopoli. So these are time, speed, TSD rallies, which is time, speed, and distance. You have to, this is not about start the race, drive fast, and reach. It's not about that. Okay. So I'm, your first request of, maybe this entire talk should be about this car rally business. We'd love to say that, but I want Kirti and Mamta also to be there. So all three of us,
Yes.
you won't hear any one of us talking because we'll all be jabbering at the same time because it's such an exciting part of our lives, right? So that's how it is. When we do what we do, this is not a race. Very, very honestly, let me say that to all the women who want to know a little more about car rallies, women's car rallies. It is about doing math. It's about understanding direction. It is about reading a tulip sheet. We are not given Google Maps. Our phones are sealed. We do not have any tech assistance as we do our rallies. Everything is about a pen and a paper and calculations mentally. So among the three of us, Kirti drives, Mamta helps with timekeeping, and I help with navigation. So I can say that the most important role for a navigator, most important thing to do for a navigator is communication. Most important because she has the entire chart in her hand. Where do you go? Whether you take a right, take a left. So there were times you're talking of fine tuning. So there were times when I would say, Kitty, take a right now, take a right now. And she would know that she has to take a left. Now that is
Oh.
what now that is what communication is because we know each other so well. She knows that I mean a left, right? But from those days, we have come to take a right means take a right only,
Right.
right? So we've learned through time about how to adjust, how to um, calculate better. This time, again, there was a screw up, thanks to me. So there was one small little gully that I missed. But to cover up that and to come back to the game was something. Last year, our vehicle broke down. So that's what we mean when we say that there are so many challenges, but it's unbelievable fun. It's an adrenaline rush. It has brought the three of us even closer. We do not, there was a time when we would really get so stressed about the results. Um, yeah, it is a little stressful when you're waiting for the results because you know you've done well. We came back with a trophy this time, so we are happy that we were called on stage and we were felicitated. It all that is awesome because at the end of the day, you feel you've had fun. It's about sometimes a whole day long of driving, of calculating, of mad math. You've got to do so much of number crunching through it
That's
and
not
therefore
what
then
I'm
help.
good at all.
So somebody who comes and asks me, I want to take part in rallies. So the first question that I ask them is, you should enjoy being able to talk, being able to communicate with your friends. You should have that kind of an understanding with them that they understand what you say in whichever language. You should like maths. You should like numbers. You should be able to read things in a moving vehicle. And you should be happy that you're not looking up from the book. Because
Mm.
your head is buried right there. You're not even looking out of the window. It's fun. It's crazy. And I'm waiting along with Kirti and Mamta to do our next. I'm sure they are
We
too.
will, we will. I'm gonna plan it, and it's gonna have four of us. Yay! We're totally going to do that.
Yes.
Uh, so
Yes, yes, yes. We'd love to.
that's that's very amazing. I have so many more questions about that, but I will withhold them and keep it and reserve it for when the three of us meet because I did do my research on car rallies before talking with you. So, and I remember reading about one of the drivers. I don't remember his name now, but he was asked, "Would you ever be able to navigate?" And he said, "I would not be able to navigate because the moment I'm not driving, I feel like I'm going to throw up." So he said, I cannot be the one sitting in the seat. He's like, that's not how it works. But I did read that
It's
it's
totally true.
yeah.
Totally true. Because I know that many have asked us, a few of us, yeah, quite a few have asked us this. If you were to interchange roles, nobody has
Mm.
said yes. All the three of us have said, no, we're very happy doing what we're doing. I will not drive or do timekeeping. I'm happy doing navigation. And I know for sure that Kirti and Mamta are totally happy with, I mean, the fact that they do not have to navigate because it's one of those things to do.
I totally feel you. Okay, so we're coming to the end now, and what I will do is we have a couple of minutes. Does anybody have any questions for Gayatri? Otherwise, we will be closing it soon. Tanmoy has written a message in the chat. He says, sounds amazing. We'll wait for more rally stories with your team.
Happy to. Yes, happy to. Thank you, Tanman.
Do you have a one line message you'd like to tell everyone this World Creativity and Innovation Week?
Okay. Um, Keep pursuing things. Okay. It's very important to keep up with what you do. I'm learning Japanese. I'm going like a crazy woman from one level to the other. The Japanese language is a very tough language, right? I consider it a very tough language. To be able to do this in my 50s is innovation in my brain, right? Is also something which is like, why are you doing it? I just came out of class about half an hour ago. Before this call, and I was sitting there, and there was this conversation that was being played. And at the end of the conversation, my sensei asked me, "So, Gayatri, how did you understand this conversation?" And my reaction was, I just started laughing. I just burst out laughing. And she got my point. I said, my God, are we even supposed to listen to such conversation and make sense of it? So my point is, it was fun sitting through class and telling yourself, oh, I don't know anything that is going on. But the point is, keep doing this. Your brain cells will feel like they're bored. Come on, you need to keep looking at newer ways, newer things to do, because that's what makes your life exciting. Only you can help yourself. Only you can do this. People, family, etc. हैं, सब लोग हैं. Everyone is there to love you and to watch and to
Definitely,
see what
yeah.
you're doing. But you are the guy. You are the one who's going to pick yourself up and say, "Let me do something different and mad." So be mad. Is my point.
I love it, Gayatri. Jyoti has written, keep rising higher. You are a great inspiration for all women. Keep it up. Um,
Thank you.
Somebody called OnePlus says, happy to hear you talk and motivate always. Kirti says, do you have a message for women entrepreneurs? But
Absolutely.
I'm gonna give you 15 seconds on the clock because we'll have to wrap up.
Keep innovating, keep thinking of ways, because you people know how to communicate to markets, to people, and most important, you know to listen. And because women can listen, women can do awesome business.
Thank you so much, Gayatri. And for those of you who don't know, I'm sure that is Kirti plus one from Women's Car Rallies. So, thank you everyone for joining us today. And tune in, there will be more Ignite Talks happening this Sunday and Monday with Dexter Ellis, a science communicator from America, and Judith Russell, an Australian illustrator and author. So, thank you so much. I hope you all had a lovely evening. And please stay in touch. Gayathri Thakoor is there on Instagram and on Facebook. And so is the Let's Foundation, which you should follow in case you
Absolutely.
want to see the amazing work
Absolutely.
that they're doing. Thank you so much, Gayatri.